Yeah, but if you do it again tomorrow, you'll be retired.
Well, I'll be retired.
Is that or what? Well,
I'm gonna be retired all week, I guess.
and that always costs.
Good, that's gracious.
That's the beauty of working in healthcare. You get used to the geriatric jokes.
I was humble ever.
Exactly.
I hope to at some point.
I think we're good to go.
Very good. That's
Well,
You two will fall apart.
yeah, 1:31, and we're here for a Commissioner Planning Department workshop. I'll call the meeting to order and we'll go through all the stuff because there's absolutely nobody here to help do so. At this time, so we'll turn it over to Sweaty. Hold on, sir.
Hey, good afternoon, commissioners. So we are having this workshop because the planning commission recommended approval of the transportation plan and school facilities and transportation components of the comprehensive plan. We'll start with the transportation component first. And these are the things that have been addressed in this component. Does the commission have any questions for this? No. Any other discussion or comments? So we'll move on to the school facilities and transportation component. Any questions regarding this one? That was it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're all
I got
done.
no question.
Okay, so we'll have the hearing for this one on March 22nd. And it will be brought to you in form of a public hearing for adoption.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, we have Mr. Davis here. Is there anything that you would like to draw our attention to with regards to transportation? So,
Yeah, I drafted both of the components.
that's
why I'm here, so. So right there, see, that's the transportation component that's up on the screen. So that part I, that reiterates what the state code says is to be analyzed. So, looking at that, that's a pretty long paragraph or two that talk about what's to be in it. And the existing, what's in the comprehensive plan now is a very extensive write-up of all the stuff that's included in that paragraph. Like many of the components in the existing plan, they're overloaded with data, and the data doesn't always lend itself to then the goals and objectives and policies that came up. So in rewriting all of these, I think the planning commissioners are trying to make it down to information that's pertinent to the issues. How is this going to affect land use policy or actions? Therefore, what I did with this one and with the schools is look at it, putting in some data that's there about the condition of the roads and who has what authority. But this one and the school, since there are agencies outside of the direct purview of the county, such as school districts and Idaho Transportation Department and so forth, that can use their expertise to review something and say whether or not that proposal has an impact on the name system. It's up to the county to ask them for review. And as we've talked about many times, it's then up to that agency to respond. If they don't respond, apparently they don't have a problem, or they don't see that the size of that application is enough to really warrant any kind of mitigation discussion. So ultimately, that's what these two components talk about and get to the end. And that we look back, of course, on the goals, objectives, and policies that were adopted last year early to look for consistency with those stated goals, and then the write-up of this one and the other components. And they do fit because the with the transportation and the school transportation components, they were pretty generic. So I have reviewed that again, and I still think they're pretty pertinent. We'll have to review it all at the end, like we pledged, and the commission has pledged to go back over all of that, but I anticipate therefore at a public hearing, if anybody shows up, that you might get some responses, what happened to this part? What happened to this discussion? What happened to this? So that, again, I plan on being there for that to explain it. We didn't put in our recommended language, I don't think there's a document online that talks about our discussion. Is there?
For these particular components?
Yeah.
No.
No, it isn't. So it won't be, it's not like what we have with the goals and objectives. We have that. Here's why they're stated the way they are. Some pretty good notes from that. I wish we'd have done that with all these, but anyway, so we'll just have to be there to help the discussion along, shall I say.
You did a really good job shortening up that intro though. That was very wordy on them.
Oh, it was.
You got so
Some of
long.
these are mind-boggling how much they stated. I think they were paid by the word. So
Well, no, I like the cleanups.
And sometimes lots of work, not plus.
well, plus the fact, the more words are in there, the more people can look for some little bug that they want to find to hook their hat on and to avoid that as much as possible.
Got anything else to throw at us?
That would be
That was
all.
it?
That would be all for today.
That was,
Thank you.
no,
So is this scheduled for
March 22nd.